Yeah.
And theorize about what it would take to do a 50-state estimate of the number of runaway and homeless youth. And all of that work over the last 18 months culminates in this event this afternoon, which was really to announce the beginning of a 24-month process where we expect to develop an estimate of the number of runaway and homeless youth. It has lots of components to the initiative. I won't go into all of them today, but certainly what we're going to try to do is to use the best available science to really develop the estimate and to be as open and transparent as possible about the work itself. So as we develop field tests and ultimately implement the use of instruments for collecting data, we certainly will share that publicly. As we try to make estimates using other data sources, we certainly will make that analysis available. And our motivation for doing that is really to make sure that we create this learning community that isn't some exclusive community where only a small number of people understand how the work gets done, but ultimately what we want to do is to be as open sourced as possible and have this be the beginning of a learning process, the beginning of an adaptation process that ultimately leads to increasingly better methods of counting. I couldn't get out of the way before acknowledging that we have had some really significant partners in this work, and so I certainly want to acknowledge our steering committee. They're made up of the Ballmer Group Philanthropy, the Campion Foundation, Casey Family Programs, the Melville Charitable Trust, and the Rakes Foundation. They certainly have been enthusiastic supporters of this work. We couldn't be at this point without them, and certainly have a great appreciation for their willingness to go on this journey with us. So with that, I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the folks in Seattle and give them a chance to talk about the importance of the work.
Let's see if we can get this working here. Hi, everyone. Well, we are excited here at Friends of Youth. My name is Derek Wentorf, and I'm Director of Homeless Youth Services. And here in King County, we have been part of really trying to understand the need of youth homelessness in our community for a long time, and we're excited to see this step up to a national level. We've been doing a count here for 5 years. We've also been really working intentionally on partnerships and really understanding the need across our vast community. And so it's exciting to kick this off today across the country and be one of the providers that are really invested in helping this effort move forward. So we're excited to be here and excited to kick this off.
Thanks, Derek. Hi, it's Todd Schenk from Casey Family Programs, and I am really excited to be here today, and I want to echo what Derek said about the opportunity to connect local work to national work. And from our perspective as a foundation that works around the country, I think we are really excited about the opportunities that we have here to connect this need for a better understanding of what's happening nationally to local efforts and to the voices of youth. So thank you, Brian, for taking this on and for your leadership in this. And I just want to say quickly that I think it's, for me, exciting to be here in Seattle because of the tremendous legacy that we have here in Seattle of not only lifting up youth voices very particularly, but the really strong work of the local provider community and the work that has been blossoming around a sort of a regional movement and leading to kind of this national idea. So thank you for having us.
Hey, I'm Lamar Campbell with the Mockingbird Society, and I'm kind of here to discuss why I feel youth voice is important for these kind of things. And one of the key reasons is youth involvement is important is like the nature of what you're trying to do. Youth have experienced homelessness, simply put, no youth homelessness. And I feel they are experts by experience and can offer insight from that perspective. I feel like their insights can help accuracy, deciding which questions are most appropriate and productive to ask, staying culturally relevant for those marginalized within the realm of homelessness, and guiding research to be as efficient as possible. Another reason I feel youth involvement is important is data collection in itself. With youth-based assistance, you can figure out the best places to go for data collection, developing concrete outreach strategies for youth who don't particularly access services as often or at all. And that being said, I'm just really excited about the work you're doing. It's groundbreaking, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Well, hi, Brian and everyone. I'm Melinda Javango. I'm the Director of Youth Care here in Seattle, Washington, and also the Vice Chair of the National Network for Youth. We are very excited to see this project get launched. For decades, young people have been ignored and uncounted, and since the very early stages of the Runaway and Homeless Youth Act, we really haven't had a good, clear picture across the country of what's going on with these young people. This effort, I believe, will help us lay the groundwork for being able to set the standards that we need in order to be able to prove that, one, we're ending and impacting youth homelessness, and two, to help figure out what are the appropriate services that are needed. And third, to really, I think, put the exclamation point behind the idea that young people are different and young people need different interventions. And I think that through the survey and the work that we're going to be doing across the country, we're going to be able to highlight who is homeless, why they're homeless, and what they need to get off the street. So, Brian, I'm really thrilled, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Northwest philanthropy group here as well that are supporting this effort. And as far as from the National Network for Youth, we too are thrilled to see this finally getting a headline. Where they have counted, they have helped solve, as in chronic and veterans homelessness. So thank you for taking on this on behalf of our young people. Thanks. Yeah. Put it off now, anytime.
Great. Thanks, Seattle. We also now want to throw it to San Francisco. Do the folks in San Francisco want to talk about the importance of youth voice?
Yes, good morning. My name is Bevan Dufty, and I'm the Director of Hope for the Mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee. I'm also a gay man that was proud to serve as a city supervisor for 8 years, representing the Castro, and I think that those of us in the LGBT community have a particular responsibility to have leadership around good policy, good data, and good programs and services, because so many of our youth are homeless. Our first count was in 2013, and we were able to use that number to leverage the first transitional age youth supportive housing, which is going to be named after Armistead Maupin. And so we're really excited to be part of this effort, and we really want to use the data and really understand that populations are different within homelessness, and an African American youth may present as a homeless individual very different than someone who's Latino or Caucasian or transgender, and we need to be confident, and our services need to recognize that.
Good morning. My name is Sharina Martinet, and I've been a client at Flushing Street Youth Services since 2011. I'm currently serving as a treasurer at the Youth Advisory Board, and I would like to share 3 pieces of advice that we had gone over, and it was to ensure that the youth count was accurate. As one, please don't stereotype what a homeless youth look like. When I was homeless, nobody could look at me and identify that I was homeless. Second, focus on increasing the awareness amongst the homeless youth, counting, informing them what the count is and why it is important. 3, creating a youth advisory board for the voices of the youth count so the youth can be involved with the process and provide their expertise every step of the way. I appreciate you allowing me to share this information with you. Thank you.
Thanks, San Francisco. Next up, Los Angeles. You guys want to share us what you're thinking and why this initiative matters to you?
Hi. Let's see. Okay. Hi, my name is Tiffany Jamorlin. I'm the program manager for the Hollywood Homeless Youth Partnership. We're a collaborative of 6 agencies in Hollywood that serve homeless youth, which includes Children's Hospital Los Angeles, My Friend's Place, Covenant House, California, the Los Angeles Youth Network, Step Up on Second, and the LA LGBT Center, who offered us this beautiful space here today. We're thrilled that LA was chosen as one of the sites represented in this event, given that LA is known as the homeless capital of the United States. And we're especially excited that we're hosting this event here in Hollywood, which is known as a hotbed for youth homelessness. So before we continue this event, I want to acknowledge all the amazing work that's being done here at the local level. A lot of the people that are here in this room represent many different agencies throughout LA and LA County, and they've done a lot of work and put in a lot of grit into working towards the end of youth homelessness here in Los Angeles. And they've done things on a local level, such as direct services, advocacy, the LA homeless count, and the LA youth count. So we're really excited to learn more about the Voices of Youth count and partner and collaborate with other stakeholders throughout the country, such as Chapin Hall, to come up with a consistent way of counting youth through different parts of the country. And we want to thank you again for this opportunity to host this event. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, LA. Next up, folks from Nebraska. Tell us why this matters to you.
Good morning and welcome from Western Nebraska. I'm joined here today by all of our friends from the Panhandle of Nebraska, a rural community, and also from Eastern Wyoming. So my name is Betsy Vidlac, and we are very excited to be involved in this conference this morning. We have definitely a number of youth experiencing homelessness across the Panhandle. We cover 14,000 square miles, and so providing services is very challenging for a lot of our partners here. So we really appreciate the opportunity to get a good, accurate count and be involved in a national initiative around that, because we know that dollars follows need, and sometimes it's really hard to show need in an area where it's challenging to do a count. So we're just very excited to be a part of this opportunity, and we want to say thank you to Chapin Hall for including us today. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Betsy. Just a shout out to other friends in Nebraska. I spent 2 years working in Nebraska and spent a lot of time in the Panhandle, and certainly know firsthand many of the challenges that are faced by families out there. So we really appreciate Nebraska coming on board and being a part of today's event. And so I'd like to next hand this off to somebody here in Chicago, the lead principal investigator for this work, Fred Woshin.
Thanks, Brian, and good morning, good afternoon to our partners across the country. It's a pleasure to be with you in this remote way, and it's an exciting time, as Brian mentioned, for the project and the opportunity we have to work with each of you. I'm joined here today by colleagues at the University of Chicago, School of Social Service Administration, members of our board, other community members, but most importantly, members of the research team who will be organizing all of the work that was described by you, by Brian, at the outset. And I thought I'd take the brief time that I have with you this morning to just talk a little bit about where this work fits within the work that we at Chapin Hall have done, and give you a sense for why it's an exciting time for us as it relates to this work. So I think when we look around, we read the newspapers, we sometimes come away with the idea that we have a difficult time as a nation solving some of our most intractable problems. And I think in some ways that is true, in other ways we have made great strides. I think what we can say about those times when we have made great strides is that it all began with a very simple thing, and that was to take the time and effort and use the resources to do something as simple as counting the people who we care about. And when we do the count, if we take the extra time needed to simply ask them who they are, how they're doing, how we can be of help to them, that when we take that and we curate that information and we deliver it to people who are in a position to do something about it, that really is the way progress begins. And so we see this as an opportunity. Obviously, there have been efforts, some described already in your communities, where people have been endeavored in the task of counting young people. Our goal is to try and figure out how to do that better. We're not going to create the perfect count, but we will do a better job. And the ways in which we'll do a better job is we want to ask people the same questions in different parts of the country. We want to count people in the same way in different parts of the country so that we have a global or holistic sense of what it means to be runaway and homeless, and what it means in terms of how does context affect whether or not young people find themselves in that situation. So our goal is to get better at this. At Chapin Hall, we began 30 or so years ago at a time when we couldn't count foster children, when the way we counted foster children was on 3x5 cards. And people were concerned about the fact that we had such a limited capability to understand who and how many kids were in that situation, that there was a public responsibility to do that job better. And it's that same spirit that we had 30 years ago to just get better at counting kids and use that knowledge to improve public policy, to improve practice, and ultimately to improve the life chances that the young people in that situation face. I think we can do the same thing in the case of runaway and homeless youth, and we very much welcome your participation. I know the team here will be reaching out to you. We'll, as Brian said, know in a few short weeks how and where we're going to be doing the work. And the thing that we ask of you is to stand with us. Help us when we need your help. Guide us when we need your guidance. But most of all, to partner with us, and that will go a long way towards helping us get better at what we all want to get better at. So thank you very much. Welcome to the party, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you.
Thanks again for everybody being willing to participate here. We really do see this as a partnership as well as a journey, and we hope that all of you who have joined us here today will take this journey with us. And one way to stay in contact and to know how the work is progressing is to use the website that's been developed here, voicesofyouthcount.org. And so we encourage you to regularly check in, stay engaged, and certainly provide support when you can and when necessary. So thanks again this afternoon, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks.